All right. I think we are good to go. Hopefully some of you will find your way over here. Sorry about the mix-up. All right, let's try this again with no feedback this time, because that would be a long hour for all of us if you had to hear everything I said twice. So we're going to come onto our mats, and we can start in a cross-legged position, sitting up tall here, just letting our sits bones root into the ground. Imagine someone pulling the crown of your head toward the sky, maybe adjusting, pulling the flesh out from underneath your sit bones so they can connect with the ground. Sitting up tall, keeping your eyes gently closed here. Deepen the breath, inviting it deep into your belly, and then exhaling from the belly, just focusing on the belly filling and contracting here, all the while keeping it nice and soft. With every inhale, find more length in the spine. With every exhale, keep that length and find a little bit of rootedness into the mat. Use this time to set an intention for your practice today. It could be to find this sense of rootedness a little bit more often throughout your day, to operate with an enhanced sense of ease and lightness. It could be to let go of any anxiety or stress that is not aiding you in your journey to be happy and healthy. Whatever it is, just gently set that intention for the day. And let this time on your mat aid you in that quest. Knowing it doesn't have to manifest right now in this moment. We're going to continue using our breath here, taking a few cat-cow motions within this seated cross-legged position, so we can grab our hands over our knees. Inhale, arching our back, pulling through our hands to open our chest. Opening the chest and gaze towards the sky. And then as we exhale, round the back, pressing away, really just rounding your spine like a C. Then inhale, pulling through the shins to open the chest. Exhale, curving away and down. A few more times here. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Maybe throwing in a few little circles of your head here. Maybe bringing this torso into a circular motion here, so we can try coming over to the right leg, center, left leg, all the way around back, and then circling here. Breathing with this motion, almost like we're a spoon in a pot. We're just stirring the pot here. It's a little bit of Kundalini yoga. So Kundalini is made up of a bunch of different kriyas, and repetitive motions. Switch directions. We're not going to stick with Kundalini, we're just doing this motion today. And you can always stick with that normal cat-cow pose within this posture here if this circle isn't working for you. And place your hands behind your body, and then gently just press your hips towards the sky, pressing your knees and shins and tops of your feet into the earth here, dropping your head. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1, coming down. And we're going to switch the position of our feet. And then taking one more press up here, maybe feeling a little bit different sensation in the hips as we try and press both of our knees into the ground, as we press our hips up off the ground, enjoying this deep stretch here. Let the neck drop. Maybe you can draw little circles with it. Slowly easing yourself back onto the mat. Bringing your legs out in front of you. And just pull through your legs to open your chest here. Finding that tall spine. And we can walk our feet out a little bit more, and we're just going to do a little fascial release here. So all we're going to do is let our head hang heavy between our legs, and then just roll it up, and then bring the chin to the shin and just roll it back down here. So we're not really going for a forward fold here, instead acting like a, if you've ever seen like a fiddly fern or something like that, how the fern curls up on itself. We're curling into ourselves to come down with the exhale, inhaling to come up, keeping our chin to the chest until that last moment, just loosening up the fascia and muscles of our back, articulating one vertebrae at a time here. Last one, coming down. And coming back up. We can go ahead and straighten our legs out a little bit in front of us. Pulling the meat from underneath our thighs here. And just take a gentle push to rise here. So just breathing. If you're like me, who feels very stiff and sore right now, that's okay. That's why we're keeping this dynamic to start. Breathing through it here, push to rise, push to rise. One last time, push to rise, and then just let your body hang down here over your legs. So sort of like that fascial release we were just doing. With the fascial release, we are definitely focused on curling all the way down and coming all the way back up. And here we're letting our body get pulled, our chest and head get pulled a little bit towards our toes here. So not necessarily focusing our energy on going down, but instead focusing on going down and out. Continuing to breathe here. Maybe windshield wipering your feet side to side here, rotating your whole leg so that your femur's rotating in your hip socket here. For 3, 2, 1. We're going to take a slight bend in the knees. You can stretch over your legs and just flex and point your toes here. So this is helping to pull the sciatic nerve through its sheath to keep it from getting stuck or impinged, or hopefully decreasing the chance of having any of that weird sciatic nerve shooting pain that we can feel through the backs of our legs. And then from here, walk your feet in a little bit more and just take a restorative version of a forward fold. Letting your elbows drape toward the ground, your shoulders rest into your knees, your head hang heavy. Try and really use this position as the release for the head, See how heavy you can let your head become here. Really releasing those little rotator muscles in your cervical spine. Two more breaths here. We're going to bring our feet together, coming into a little butterfly shape, and we're going to come back to our forward folds, I promise. Maybe just keeping your hands, I keep my hands behind me as I come into the shape, so I'm keeping my spine nice and long through pressing through my hands, and just sort of bringing one knee to the mat and then the other knee to the mat. If you have really open hips, you don't need to do this version. This is just how I like to settle into the pose. Almost lifting my butt off the mat with my hands here to allow me a little more wiggle room. And then whenever we're ready, we can clasp our hands around our feet and just take a little butterfly here. Imagine whizzing through the garden, perhaps helping to pollinate a few vegetables or fruit trees. Finding a little bit of play, a little bit of ease, a little bit of lightness. Knowing there's no way your body's supposed to look in this pose, or no way it's supposed to specifically feel either. We are just showing up today to interface with our bodies and see how they feel, non-judgmentally experiencing that. Open your feet like a book and press your elbows into your shins and reach your chin forward and down, enhancing this stretch just a little bit here, keeping any tension out of your shoulders. Breathing here. Our hips might still feel very like they're cracking open at this point, and that's alright. We have not done too much TLC on them yet, so be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Maybe pushing in one side a little bit and the other side a little bit. And then try and touch the crown of your head to the space that you've opened up on the palm or soles of your feet here. So letting the head hang heavy now. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, coming up. We can slowly stretch this right foot away from us, bringing this right or left foot in to the root of the thigh. And we took these last week too, we're going to take them again, so a little bit of straddle prep here. So we're going to stretch like we're stretching to a straddle here, except it's only a one-legged straddle with our right leg out and our left leg bent in towards us. So we're going to just let our body cascade over the center of our legs, over that left foot, stretching forward here, trying to root our sit bones, especially our right sit bone, into the ground as we stretch here. Breathing, keeping that breath nice and long. With your inhale, slowly walk it back up. And then square your body off to that right leg, and then stretch your body down and over that right leg, feeling this left sit bone really sink into the ground here, finding length in that left low back, and a little bit of openness and stretch in that left hip. Reaching your chin to your shin here, maintaining length in the spine. Four more breaths. Inhale, slowly walking it back up. And we're going to plant our left hand behind us, sort of in line with our left hip. And we're going to take the opposite version of this stretch by pushing through our foot and our knee, reaching towards the sky, pressing our hips forward. So kind of deep bend in the hip socket and hip crease by pressing the hips away from us here. Taking up a lot of space. Maybe feeling like a break dancer or something fun here. And then slowly bringing yourself back down to the mat. And we're going to keep our left foot in front of us, but bring our shin parallel to our body. And then we're going to stack the right shin on top of the left shin. I have a little injury in my right ankle, so I'm not going to be able to fully demo this one very well. But we're taking fire logs here, so we want our shins parallel to our body. So we're running in two parallel lines here. Our shins are not angled in like fire logs. They're parallel, and we just want to stack them one on top of the other, feeling a nice deep hip stretch here. This knee being stacked on top of this foot. I obviously have very tight hips today. So you can lean forward here, letting the weight of your body gently help press this right leg down, or you can press into your hands here with the balls of your feet, making this stretch a bit more active. Just making sure to keep your legs parallel. Don't let them aim in towards your body. If they were shooting lasers, we'd want those to go directly out, not inwards. Breathing here for 4 more breaths. For 3, for 2, for 1, slowly unwinding here, and we're going to shoot this left leg out away from us, bring the right foot into the root of the left thigh, squaring your hips towards the side of your mat if you're facing the same direction as me, and then we're just going to take this half straddle stretch here, bringing our body down to the mat, trying to really press our left sit bone into the ground here. Keeping our left toes pointed towards the sky. Two more breaths. And last one, slowly walking it back up. And then we're going to square our hips and our chest towards this left leg in front of us. And then stretching down over this front left leg as we try and continue to press this right knee down towards the earth. Reaching our chin to our shin here, pressing this right sit bone into the ground here to create a stretch through the right low back. Relaxing our shoulder blades down the spine, creating space between our ears and shoulders. Four more breaths. Inhale, slowly coming back up, being gentle with yourself here to avoid a head rush. And planting this right arm behind you, you know the drill, what's coming next. Maybe making sure that this knee is going to stay on the pad of your mat. As we press up, press our hips forward and away, taking in the spine, reaching our left arm behind us here. Really pressing those hips out and away to work against all this folding that we've been doing through the hip crease. For 3, 2, 1, slowly coming back down to the mat. We're going to prepare for fire logs on this opposite side here, so bring the right shin parallel to the mat, or to your body and to the front of your mat. And we're going to bring our left leg on top of the right, easing. So once again, my ankle is not loving this, so I'm not going to press too hard. And if you, like me, are like, not today, fire logs, that's all right. But easing down, just making sure that our foot is stacked on top of our knee, our legs are parallel to the body, and we're just going to try and ease them to stack one on top of the other here. Breathing through this stretch. I know it can be really intense. 5 more breaths. Breathing through this, finding ease within the calm of the storm here. 3 more breaths. And coming slowly back up. You can release your feet. We're going to bring them to a full straddle here. So opening and sitting up tall, place your hands behind you to start. So you can gently twist your torso here. Maybe you already start to feel that stretch in your hips as we twist. Open your chest, gaze up towards the sky here, feeling length and openness through your chest and your spine. You can try flexing and pointing your toes here. If your torso is tipped so far back that you feel like there's just no way for you to lean forward in this position, you can go ahead and find a block or a book or a blanket and place that under your hips to help them tip forward to allow you to enter this stretch. So we're just going to gently start by stretching forward here, walking our hands or elbows to the mat, not trying to immediately pancake and splat onto the floor here, but instead just gently easing into this, swaying side to side here. Using our breath to breathe into any tension we might be feeling, making sure our toes are staying pointed or flexed towards the ceiling. And then walking our bodies out a bit more. As we stretch down in the straddle, maybe pulling through your hands a little bit and pushing back, seeing how that changes the stretch. Ease down a little bit more. And one last time, a little bit lower. Two more breaths here. Use your hands to slowly help you walk back up. And then stretch your left arm over towards your right toes, using your right elbow into the ground to help you keep your chest open here, to keep it from caving down. So we can start right here. Keep this chest open. If you start to notice it curving down so your left armpit is facing the ground, go ahead and back off the stretch a bit. And if this is a piece of cake for you, go ahead and connect your hand to that right foot, so left hand to right foot, and just begin to open your torso, trying to press your left hip into the ground. For 3, 2, 1, slowly coming back up. reaching your arms wide, and then we're going to take this twist, or this side body stretch again. Right arm comes up and over like we're throwing a ball over to the left side, keeping our chest nice and open. Taking whatever variation you took on the opposite side, using this left elbow to dig into the ground to help us keep our chest nice and open here, our right armpit facing the sky. Breathing here for 4 more breaths. Slowly coming back up to center. And you can put a slight bend in your knees and bring your feet together, letting your knees drop wide, creating a diamond shape here. So we're taking another one of these restorative postures we often take. This is a more restorative version of the butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana pose. So we're going to let our body just hang long here, our head falling into this diamond we've created with our legs, and our arms can be on the outside or on the inside, depending on how you're feeling today. Just letting your body hang heavy here. Your neck relax, your jaw relax. Let your eyes close and just hang in this position. Focus on the rise and fall of your breath here. And anytime your mind drifts, just bring it back to the sensation of this breath entering and leaving your body. Two more breaths here. Slowly walking yourself back up to a seated position. You can pull through your shins to open your chest here. I find that during, especially these quarantine days, this is really what I need a lot of, is just this chest opening. Especially when you're home, just sort of like typing away all day, there's not a lot of moments where you feel you need this expansiveness in your chest. So really opening here for a second, bringing your shoulder blades together, engaging your back body, maybe taking a gentle head and neck stretch here, so bringing your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then switching left ear towards left shoulder. Then maybe looking back. And as you look back, you can try opening and closing your mouth. Maybe feeling the stretch through your neck here. And then you can look down at the ground. And slowly just begin to roll your shoulders back a few times. And we can release our hands. We'll place the hands on the front of the mat, and we'll bring ourselves into a tabletop position. Taking a moment here to get situated. Your hips might feel a little tweaky or funky after being stretched so deeply between fire logs and that straddle. So we'll just go ahead and take a few hip circles here with the knee coming out first and then around and back. And then switching to come in first and back and around. And switching to the other side, going out first, back, down. And then switching, coming in, back, around. And bringing both your knees to the ground. And taking a few rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale to drop the belly, sacrum, crown of head up. Exhale, pushing away strongly through the earth, pressing the space between your shoulder blades to the sky. And then inhale, sink it back down. Taking a few cat-cows here. And I really just want you to focus on how the sensation of your hips changes as we flow through these cat-cows. So a little bit of a guided cat-cow today. And notice maybe the more you arch your sacrum and low back in this cow position, maybe you feel a little bit more of it. Or maybe it's the transition into cat where you start to feel a little bit of stretch in your hips. Just noting. And then try swaying forward and back once you reach a cat or a cow position. So we come into the cow and then push back and forward and then come into a cat and push forward and then back. Taking a few more times of this rocking forward and back, noting the way this forward and backward motion changes the stretch a little bit. We're going to come back into a flat back position here. Inhaling the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, swing the left arm through, threading the needle underneath your right arm, placing your left cheek on the ground, pressing through your right arm to take a gentle twist here. Letting your body rest into the mat. Maybe even getting a little massage of the side of your head here against the floor. I didn't realize I was holding so much tension in the area behind my temple until I brought it to the floor just now. But just noting, keeping our hips over our knees, keeping the breath long here. 2 more breaths. And slowly unwinding, reaching that left arm towards the sky. Exhale, bring it back to the mat. On your next inhale, reach your right arm towards the sky. Exhale, sweeping the right arm underneath the left. Bringing the right cheek or temple to the ground, pressing the right shoulder into the ground. Left hand presses into the mat to take this gentle twist as we keep our hips over our knees. For 3, 2, 1, slowly unraveling, reaching that right arm back towards the sky, and bring your hands back to the mat here. So we're going to walk our hands, I'm going to walk my knees back a little so I can stay on my mat. So we're going to come into puppy pose here. So I'm going to arch my back like I'm in a cow position, walk my hands out in front of me, keeping my hips over my knees, and try and press my chin and my chest into the ground, opening the chest, stretching this arched back, opening the shoulder girdle here as well. Gazing to the front of your mat here, making sure that our butt does not get too far in front of our knees here, but instead stays over the knees. Also, by pressing our chin into the ground here, we'll find a gentle stretch of the neck. You can come onto your fingertips if you need a little more stretch here. Two more breaths. Slowly coming back up onto your hands. We'll come back through this tabletop position, tucking our toes here to gently press back into a downward facing dog. We're not going to stay here long, as we never do in this class, so don't worry, we're not about to start throwing vinyasas at you. Just pedaling it out here, feeling the stretch through the back of your legs. We haven't really isolated the calves at all yet today, so maybe taking this position to stretch the backs of your calves, maybe bending one knee deeply and stretching through the other, and holding here for a few breaths. And then switching, bending the opposite knee and straightening the other, pressing through that back leg for a few breaths. And coming back into this downward dog, and take a bend of your knees to straighten your back, and then straighten your knees. Take a bend and a straighten. Two more times. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, and walk your hands back to your feet, letting your hands and head hang heavy here, just sinking into this forward fold. Maybe nodding your head yes, shaking it no to make sure you're not holding any tension through your neck here. Maybe wiggling your jaw side to side to make sure you're not holding any unnecessary tension there either. Maybe you can give a little self-massage to the backs of your calves and your hamstrings. And we can bend our knees to place our chest on the knees, just taking a little ragdoll here. And then straighten the legs, gently walking the hands back out into a downward dog. Bring your knees to the mat. And then just bring your full body to the mat, lying on your stomach here. Bringing your left cheek to the ground to start. Just taking a moment here to let your full body collapse into the ground. Feeling the rise and fall of your breath. We're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders and then place our forearms down on the mat, taking a little Sphinx pose here. So we're going to bring our feet together, placing the forearms into the ground, pressing through the elbows, pulling back to open the chest, pressing the hips into the ground, just taking a gentle back bend here. Gaze neutral and parallel to the ground here, so we're not looking down, we're not looking up, we're just looking like we're trying to find the horizon in front of us. Pressing the hips into the ground. For 3, 2, 1, and we're going to come back to the ground, pressing our right cheek into the ground this time. Releasing fully into the mat and getting this little stretch of the neck just by letting our right cheek press into the ground. Seeing how much you can make your body rise and fall just using your breath. And we're going to bring our hands back to underneath our shoulders, gently pushing up, starting with a little cobra here, keeping our heels engaged, rolling in towards each other, not letting our legs splay out to the side. And gently pressing up. When we start to feel our hips come off the ground, we're going to ease off the stretch, finding a little bit more bend in the elbows, or walking your hands out further in front of you, that also works. Keeping the shoulders engaged and down, so not letting them hunch up here. Maybe taking a few shoulder rolls in this position. And then inhale, coming into the full expression for 2 more breaths here. Exhale, slowly coming back down to the mat. Bring your forehead to the mat this time. And we're going to press back through our arms and our forearms, coming into a child's pose here. So we can take a wide-legged child's pose. Bringing our knees to the outer edges of our mat. And then just resting our forehead against the ground, arms out in front of us, long. Finding as much length between our fingertips and our hip bones as we can. And then sinking our hips back down into our heels. Once again, fully releasing the weight of your head into the mat. Just breathing here, feeling your stomach inflate, pressing against the tops of your thighs. Maybe taking a moment here to revisit your intention for the practice, and then deepen into this child's pose. We can add a little side body stretch here by walking our right hand towards the right corner of our mat and bringing the left hand on top of the right. Squaring our shoulders towards the ground, pressing our left hip down towards the left heel to create length in this side body as we open up the shoulders. Breathing here. Slowly coming back through center. Bringing your left hand over towards the left corner of the room or mat. Stacking your right hand on top of the left. Square your shoulders towards the ground. Pressing your right hip back towards your right heel, creating length and stretch in this right side body through the right shoulder. Slowly coming back through center. And we're going to ease ourselves onto our backs. You can lay fully on your stomach and just roll over if you want to try that. Or you can get onto your back however you want. It's your practice. Bring your right knee into the chest here, gently pulling in your right knee towards your right shoulder. And then swing it over, pulling it towards your left shoulder. And then use the left hand to guide the right knee over towards the left, maybe scooting your hips a little bit towards the right to maintain a straight line between your crown of your head and your heel of the left foot. Find a cactus or goalpost shape in this right arm. Press the right arm into the ground as we press the right knee into the ground, creating a side body stretch or a back stretch here. So we're stretching through the mid and upper back on the right side here, gazing towards the right. Imagine someone's pressing your knee down and pressing your shoulder down at the same time. Just feeling that twist. You can actually do it yourself if you want to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your knee and just pull and push down respectively. Breathing here for 3 more breaths. Slowly and gently bringing that right knee back into the chest. Pulling it in one last time, maybe drawing a little circle with it. And then sending it out and away from you. Bring the left knee into the chest, pulling it in towards the left shoulder. Crossing it to the right shoulder. And then bringing that left knee to the right side, pressing the left knee into the ground, maybe scooting your hips a little bit towards the left. Creating a cactus or goalpost shape with your left arm. Pressing your left shoulder into the ground as you press your left knee into the ground on the right side. Gazing towards the left, creating a full supine twist here. You can maybe press with both your hands for a second to see how that feels. And then just relax into the pose. Slowly coming out of the position. Bring your knees into your chest, opening your legs, grabbing the outsides of your feet, coming into a brief happy baby pose here. Trying to pull your knees towards the ground, pressing your full spine into the ground. Breathing here. Maybe rocking side to side. Maybe straightening one leg then another, or just maybe staying here. All are options. One more round of breath here. Deep inhale. And an open mouth exhale to side out. And slowly bring your full body to the mat, splaying your legs open wide, letting your toes drop to the side, keeping your chest open, arms wide. Hands can either be facing the sky or grounded into the earth. Feel the shoulders relax into the ground, shoulder blades sliding down and away from your ears. Relaxing every muscle in your body here. Maybe doing a quick body scan, starting at your toes. Working your way all the way up to the crown of your head, just scanning for tension. And using your breath to let that dissolve away. Feel the flesh of your cheeks being pulled down to the ground, almost as if it was melting off your body. Just opening your face, releasing any tension, releasing the tension of the jaw, between the eyebrows of the forehead. Just letting yourself melt here. Finding something to cultivate a little sense of gratitude towards. It could be something, someone in your life. And just staying in Shavasana here. Start to build up a little gratitude and warmth inside. To send out to that thing, place, person you're thinking of. Leaving just a little warm residue in your belly. Maybe take a moment to revisit your intention for your practice today. Perhaps leaving it on the mat or making a commitment to take it with you out of this space and this time. Whenever you're ready, slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, rotating your ankles and your wrists, rolling on to your left side today, feeling the weight of your head in your bicep and shoulder as it uses those body parts as a pillow. Slowly pushing your way up to sitting, eyes stay gently closed. You can bring your hands to heart center. Taking a deep breath in, finding length and space in the spine. And an open mouth exhale, sighing it out. One more round of breath like this, breathing in. And sighing it out. Deepen your breath once again. Pressing through your palms to open your shoulders and chest. Bringing your hands to your third eye, which is just above the space between your eyebrows. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, bending or bowing forward. Always remembering that you and this body you are in are precious, beloved, and beautiful to behold. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Feel free to post any questions, comments, concerns in the chat box. And I will see you next week, hopefully. Or not see you, I guess, because I can't see you. But hopefully, I guess you'll see me next week. But have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.